Yeah, it's been restored.
By your dad or by a company?
My dad actually took it on trade. Yeah. That's a pretty fancy looking hat you have there.
I'm from Hawaii.
Are you from Hawaii?
That was a Honolulu hat. Well, don't get too close.
Let's see you do your Honolulu dance there.
Yeah. Will you fit in there with?
Oh, yeah. Got a load here.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's all ready to take you for rides. That guy. Yeah.
Oh, we want family.
No, that's what he said. No,
How do you open it?
Wes wants to get in the rumble seat and throw
Probably
bottles.
wouldn't fit in there. It's big.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. Throw bottles. Yeah. It's on.
They never. They're wrong.
No! Oh, you guys got Canadian flags. We got Batman.
Oh, ours is better.
We got Batman.
Like last year. I got Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way. Just hold one end.
Here, run through the middle here.
Hang on. Yeah, I'll get you a stick for that. The GM.
Yeah.
This is a neat car, man. I like it.
Yeah, send this to GM. He's in a
Well built, eh? Well built?
The only thing wrong with it is that it's a Ford product. Other than that, I like the car.
Why did you switch your molds?
I switched because I heard the rear axle on this was not much good. And I went to GM in 1929. I've been with them since.
Another Ford.
Is this Ford country?
Yeah.
Model 8. Well, Miles, what are you up to? Here's two Wagner State. That's right. I did the hula dance already for them. Oh, did you? Not very good. You know how to do it?
They're flying kites.
Yeah, can they get him up?
They're down there, yeah.
Well, get the wiggle in there, okay? Like that you gotta go, eh? Is that right?
That's right.
I'm working on my course.
Really high. Look at that.
Sorry.
Say that.
I saw you. Anyway, thanks for the table for our yard. Yeah, well, I had it all hooked up with lights on it and everything, so. And his was all free of everything, so.
You put your hat on?
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll make out.
Gee, really?
Huh?
Huddle in the seat. Okay, guy, what's all this about? You know, you can turn that thing off anytime.
It's not on.
Oh, it's not on? Oh, I see. Okay.
No, it's not on.
Yeah, it's on.
It's working.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's working.
Eh?
I'm sure it's working.
Looks like you guys got a nice cool spot here, eh?
Who is that? The guy with the camera. Who is? I know it's in there. Which one? That's the guy. Oh, that's the guy that was in this motorhome. Party until 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How's yourself? I noticed that last night.
I didn't even know this room. Is that Aunt Molly's?
Who's that?
Whereabouts was the house? Couldn't be. Well, maybe? I think we drove around to that bush here, and then the house was a little over. I think it's worked up now. I think it's black now. Yeah.
Where was the house?
It doesn't pick up any words, does it?
No.
Real horses.
No, doesn't get no sound.
Oh, yeah. you still in?
How are you today? Eh?
Not taking
How are you doing?
Fine. How about you?
Good. This is a circus here.
Yeah, the basement's there. The old stove is in the basement.
Are you sure this was more further over?
No, the old stove is. Hi.
Oh yeah, about where the descendants are. Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, okay.
It's still there.
Well,
That's the basement. Right there. The whole yard was right back there. Where those kids are standing there, just behind them, there was a great big granary. The car shed beside it. Over on that hill was the chicken house, right over here.
Which hill? Over there?
Right there, that little one over there, eh? Then the barn was over there where that green patch is. That's where the barn was. Then the graners were in between, like on the fence line.
yeah, well,
There's still some antiques laying there. Yeah. Old binder knotters and stuff. Forts and wheel there even, an extension rim. The old Fortson tractor.
old case tractor.
It's off the old Fortson.
Could be the old Fortson.
That's what it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, one time we thought that was a powerful tractor.
Well, it sounded good when it run, but it was hard on the arms. 7.
Is that right, eh?
Planted about, I'd say, in the 30s.
Is that a natural tree
And
in
it's
this
still
area?
there.
Is it natural?
Hey, yeah,
It is natural in this
Carigana.
area?
It's a Carigana sheep. It was knocked down by hail, the pigs chewed it down, the geese ate it, and it's still there.
Lots of sunflower bushes. That's it wasn't so much meat. Colonial cow, are you? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay, everybody gather around here.
These are flying kites. They're actually.
What do you want to do? Yell again?
Who wants your big?
Is this out of your camera, Mom? Storytelling of what went on right in this area here. A lot of the kids and grandchildren and cousins and nieces and nephews probably don't realize that at one time our parents lived right here in this area, in this particular spot in here. So what we've decided to do is let some of the brothers and sisters, our moms and dads, your grandpas and grandmas, tell some stories what they might have done right around in this area here, and the trouble they got into when they were kids, even though they tell us they were really good. So we'll start with Aunt Olga. Oh no! Oh sure.
She's done nothing wrong.
Up on a chair. Speak up loud.
Okay, we used to have playhouses in this back bush here. There's a path leading right in. Oh, it was nice and clean. And the playhouses consisted of, tin cans and making pick up dishes and so forth. We keep sausage and we get mother's garden for radishes and onions. And then we make mud pies, put it in the house and the mud pies.
Never told Mother about that.
I know I had this idea that the rabbit laid the eggs, these colored eggs for us. Well, we were little tots, we kind of believed it, So, morning we get up early, we find the eggs beside our beds and so forth, and Dad would say, well, you go out in the bush also. Sounds like a playhouse. So we'd race down on our nightshirt down the pasture and up the history along the pathway. Colored history. Right there, Daddy. The rabbit laid them. Oh, and I had my...
Well, this is where it started getting all the brains. That's why I haven't got many. good days, it was different than it is today, I'll tell you that. You can see it yourself, you look around, nothing much has changed here, but nowadays, everything has changed. Everything we had running water, you grab the pail, you run for it. You had flushing toilet, you take the bottom of the bag, you run the bush and flush it. That on, you walk to school from here, you done your chores, and you had good days, you had bad days, like it always was. The one thing I do remember, Mother planted that tree there, and put a hot wire fence around it so that we couldn't get in, but of course the pigs did. And that tree was knocked down, in, I don't know, my days, I don't know how many times, many a time. To look at it today, it's there. Just goes to show you if there's roots going. That's it.
The other one, and Frida, you got something to tell? Come on, Frida.
Oh, I can't think of nothing.
Tell the fudge story when you made candy and you weren't supposed to.
Oh, there it goes.
All the bad things you did. I remember them all. I remember one thing, we used to go chicken out and steal eggs and suck them out.
That sounds like fun.
And we also baked mud pies and we put eggs in it and everything out of the garden. And sometimes we even ate a little bit. And then every time Mother and Dad went away, we were making candy. Mother didn't let on, she knew, but she didn't. This one time it was 40 below, and she said, no, I don't candy. Because it's cold out and we can't go to town. I promised I would. And Mother and Dad were no sooner out the door and Brother weren't. Mother said, well, just make a little bit. So I made a little bit, and he was so happy when they were done. I was pouring them into a dish as thick as cigarette. And that was the last of our candy for that night.
Did he burn his fingers?
Yeah!
You didn't tell me, but that's why you got your fingers burned, eh?
What about any of the other ones? One of the ants here?
No, get Uncle John up there.
And Catherine.
One thing I always remember, we always had an outhouse with a candle there. It seems like forever. But every time Jess's time came, Molly was missing. I knew where she was. Always in the little house. Just she had a little candle all the time.
One time he didn't want the colored pages.
Well, I was the worst one of the bunch. She finally admitted it. I was the one that wiped all the reasons. And anyway, when I was about 6 years old, it was 5, 6 years old. Anyway, I got real sick. Dr. McIntosh had to come out and had to go all the way to Saudi with horses. And on the way down to Earl Grey to the hospital, I said to Dad, oh, I'm good. Take me home now. I want to go home. Oh, you can't go home. Okay, down there, and they operated. And I said, it with Dad. He was full of raisin bag fun. Back to health, and that's how come I'm here. Oh, this was the whole tour.
Yeah, this was the
the
baby. I have to talk about my assistant's rib.
Here's tragedy place now.
Carrie, I don't remember too well because they left, got married and so on. But I do remember one thing. That was when I filled my
No, I'm looking across the field here. I used to listen to Bob Fuller come with his 5-seat horse. He came across that field with motors to visit Catherine on a Sunday. That was just great. And Matilda, Annie and I used to love Bill. Because she brought jelly beans to keep Tom away. And then Olga, well, she had so many boyfriends. Finally, Dad said, Martin Retch is about the best one to marry. Okay, Annie. No, the problem with Annie was, I think Dad was coming to town one day, it was no problem. But he spotted the car about a mile and a half from home. Well, Dad used to have a few, and then he'd come home later at night sometimes, only on weekends. And he told Annie, no, don't you ever park that far from home, we have a big yard. Your turn to get even. Your turn.
Wally has one.
No, just a little bit. Everything has been said. But I remember when we were kids, we never had skates of our own, eh? So when John and Martin used to go to town, we used to put on 3 pair of wool socks and put on the skates and go to the skates. I'll tell you now.
And I'd always sneak the car. The old Chevy, because I always want to learn to drive the car.
Hi, Byron. Here, my daughter. And here, Bev. Please, I want you to meet Darlene. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is Darlene. This is Miles. Hi, Bev. Fine. And Kimberly, my daughter Kim. And Lila. This is Byron. Hi.
I phoned right away.
Maybe missed that one.
Is John here now? Are you ready? I don't
know. Say hello.
You look pretty good.
Thank you.
Put your feet together.
How's that? Put them down? Down. Yeah. We're getting fine here. We're doing
Okay, ready?
anytime. I'll take a punch before we get over there.
Okay.
I got it.
Flag.
What are we supposed to do? Yes.
Smile. Whatever you want.
I think you've had it.
Run away now.
That's good.
Why?
It's going to go over the other side.
Hey.
Gee, you was fast.
Okay.
Finished. Are you ready?
That's it.
You all done?
Already?
Good night. Okay.
Good job.
Now you turn around and run away.
you waiting for someone, Uncle Lawrence? Hey?
Are they all?
Only thing that I haven't noticed. Where do you want us?
I don't know.
We're doing fine. So far.
Preston again, Brenda.
Tell me when I'm supposed to look for.
Hey, bud.
Hello. There we go. Now that's pretty fair there.
That's good. Okay.
Are we done? We're going to go with you now. Which families haven't gone yet?
How's Connie doing?
One chew on, one chew off.
How are you ladies doing?
Did you know you're going to be on TV?
No.
What are you going on right now? Oh, you're going too far.
Yeah,
There's someone having their dinner, eh?
eating in public.
Hello there.
Oh, we put a big light on you now. One more, people. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Not in the road.
Oh, somebody threw the big light on.
That's a happy-looking family.
Roger yet. One more. Roger's coming.
Okay. I'm rolling anyway. Hey, we're rolling anyway.
Away we go. Everybody smile. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna do the Murtaugh family next. That'll be take that back. Probably might need some fresh
Nice, baby.
Down in front.
All right, Dad?
Don't run away now. This keeps going on and on. Tomorrow we take some good letters to get us started. That's our business.
Oh, Grandpa, you're kind
Okay, one more.
Okay.
Smiles, everyone.
Okay, that's it.
Don't worry, guys. Be happy.
Get Wes out of here.
Gotta get the sign here. I'm just gonna hold Justin for a big picture.
You gotta take it quick. Okay.
There, now everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet.
Oh, good. Picture with smile.
We'll remove you too.
There's no sound on this thing. There's no.
One more, darling. Matthew. Where'd you get through? Oh, okay. We're waiting for some more.
audience right now, please be seated. And there's pauses. Candles on your cake I can't carry. You come up this way. We're working oldest to youngest.
You're the youngest. Just sit. Sit down there.
The supper that we're about to have is going to be served buffet style, which means if you go away hungry, it's your own fault because you're going to put the food on your own plate. And the order for going through the lineup is as follows. Head table guests are going to go first, and then we're going to have a little switch. Because always the adults seem to go first, and this time we're going to let the kids go first. And us parents, those of us that are parents, will follow them. So we'll start with the head table, but before we do, I'd like to call on my father, Bill Schneider, to say the grace.
Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that we may serve you. Also, we give thanks for the lives of Christian and Katherine Wagner, for all the witnessing and for all the good things they did here while here on earth. May we carry on where they left off by proclaiming thy word and to carry the torch, the light of the gospel from generation to generation. And as we have gathered here at this time to commemorate and honor Chris and Katherine by celebrating with praise and thanksgiving, bless us now, bless our fellowship, that the things we do will be pleasing to you, the triune God. Bless this food that is prepared for us to celebrate tonight, for nourishment to our bodies. All this to thy glory, honor, and praise. This we ask in Jesus' saving name. Amen.
Wagner family members, it is a pleasure for me, on behalf of the town of Strasbourg, to extend a warm welcome to all the visitors who have come to town for the Wagner Reunion. Some of you returning to Strasbourg will see a big change in our beautiful little town, our streets, modern homes, well-kept lawns, and our busy main street. Knowing some of the Wagner clan and hearing stories has led me to believe that the Wagner family are a fun-loving family who enjoy visiting and lots of action. With this in mind, I would like to extend greetings from the friendly town of Strasbourg and wish for you a wonderful and joyous reunion. Yours truly, G. Darwin Reed, the Mayor of the town of Strasbourg. I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight as well. We've got people here from BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario. I guess there's nobody here from Manitoba other than my wife. And we have someone here from Quebec. we all still have some food in front of you, I just wanted to tell you a little story. Looking around here, I know that we've all got older. Some of us got richer, like Uncle Johnny. Some of us have got thinner. Some of us got balder. And then some of us got fatter. And this next little item is about the girl that just said so, and it involves Carol Schultz and myself. We're presently on the Wagner rotation diet. Grandmother and grandfather taught us this. Every time you turn around, you're eating. I would like the kitchen staff to please come out of the kitchen so that we can thank you for the lovely supper that you served to us this evening. Would you please come out of the kitchen, Adele, with your helper's plate? Thank you very much for the love and toast to Grandfather and Grandmother Wagner, and I think she has some little stories that she's going to tell prior to proposing her toast. The glasses that you have before you are for the toasts. And Olga?
Memories are treasures. These are some of the highlights to remember my brothers and sisters. They are to be taken with a bit of grain of salt. Start with Sister Carrie. She's the firstborn angel of Mom and Dad. She's a brave girl. She breaks the trail for the rest of us. We learned a lot by watching and listening. It's tough to be the first one. You start to get boyfriend, start calling, and start to date you. When Gus was dating her, it was a serious business. Gus would bring her home after a night out and park his car where Gus had parked his car. The window was there, and he would look out, especially then. Next time, they parked at the gate by the road. Of course, he found out too. Now what? So a half a mile from home, down the Charlotte Road. All went smoothly after that. Thanks, Carrie. That is a good road of memories. And now Frida, little Sister Frida, a little bundle of joy, 4 foot 11 inches tall. Cute as a button, lots of boyfriends, and then Otto came along. Love sure grew fast. When Otto came visiting, they would sit on the living room couch, and of course, they wanted the rest of the kids to get the heck out of the way. So Otto would have to sing and yodel for us first, and then we'd consent upstairs to go to bed. And of course, once we were up there, there was no such thing as going to bed. We'd look down the air vents of the stovepipes. You just don't win in this family. Now John, our big brother John, and a watchdog. He's good. He's worked hard and did quite well. He's got money to burn. He knows how to wheel a deal. He never misses. He was good at giving advice to his younger sisters. He would tell us which boys to date, which ones not to date. I never understood why. He never told us about the birds and bees. His pet horse, Beauty, caused him many troubles. She'd open the gate, and all the horses and cattle would get out during the night and into the wheat fields. Then he'd really get mad, and he'd tie the gate shut with lots of rope. No problem. She got it untied. She had a lot of horse sense. He finally sold her for fox meat. Thanks, John, for watching over us. Matilda had reddish auburn hair and the temper of the Irish. Lots of boyfriends came, but there's some I didn't like. This one that came a-calling, he always looked like he was half asleep. Remember him? Barely said a word. He must have been lovesick. Sure glad Bill came along. He drove a car with blinds on the window. Most of the time they were down. They went to Winnipeg for their honeymoon, and Brother John went along. Watchdog. Martin, our dear brother Martin, the bear devil. He could do a lot of tricks on the farm. The bush by the gate has a great memory. He would climb the highest trees and dare me to do the same. So I did what he could do, you know, tomboys. Well, up high, we started to swing the trees up and down, back and forth as hard as we could. Sometimes they would break. You'd grab the tree beside you and hang on before you get down. We sure got heck from Dad. He was also in the Army the last war. So when he came home on leave, he would show us some of his training, procedures that he had learned, like the bayonets and the stranglehold, all gruesome stuff. He would chase the sisters around the yard and pretend we were the enemies. You never heard such screaming. Never a dull moment. Thanks, Martin. Catherine, the dark-haired beauty, and a smile the boys couldn't resist. They just couldn't. Oh, we just couldn't keep Bob away. He insisted that she belonged to him. He got his way. Catherine and I had to butcher young roosters one Saturday for a chicken supper on Sunday. We always had company coming. First you chased to catch them. Good thing we were young and used to running. Now the chopping block was ready. Catherine held the legs and the wings, and the head lay ready on the slaughter block. I raised the axe, one shot. Catherine screamed, "Let go of the rooster." And I'd run around with Catherine's head. It finally died. I never saw Catherine the rest of the day. She wasn't having any parties anymore. But you know what? She ate chicken next day. Thanks, Catherine. Molly, our cute little petite doll. She always looked pretty neat. But that's all she ever did. She was looking in the mirror to see what else she could do to improve. She would always tell Catherine and I, she would always tell tales to Catherine and I, to Dad, when something was wrong or done wrong. But when we got her alone in our playhouse in the backyard, we told her a thing or two. And threatened to throw her in the slew of water. That fixed her for a while. The boyfriend, she had quite a few. Then Bob came along. And he said, "We're going to tie them up." Lawrence, our baby brother. He was cute then. We sure helped to spoil him. I don't think he ever got spanked. At public school, he had his first lesson on how to smoke, which began behind the barn. His friend Harry brought the tobacco from his dad's can and cigarette paper or whatever he used. He came home looking pale and sick and couldn't eat. Dad knew. He read all the signs. He told Lawrence to smoke really hard again and get cured. He didn't smoke again, not to my knowledge. There must be one for Anne here somewhere. Baby sister Anne. What a pretty baby she was, always smiling. She hardly ever cried. She didn't have to. We gave her anything she wanted. Lauren and Anne always stuck together with plans to get around Mother and Dad. They were sharp operators. When they were about 5 or 7 years old, I taught them to sing duets and accompaniment on guitar. Soon I had them singing Little Green Valley in perfect harmony. Then we had them singing at the local amateur contest. We got first prize, which was all $10. They won quite a few times for amateurs. I never did get my commission. Anne and her boyfriends, I tell you, Dad's hair was Snow White by the time she got married. She worked for an egg counting station in Strasbourg for a while. I don't know how long. I heard some of the grade 8 eggs came through half-hatched. She's lots of fun and laughs. Keep her up, Anne. Now, someone insists that I have to say a little thing about me. Well, I'm the angel with a dirty face. And Jessica says, as my daughter-in-law, I'm the hostess of the bunch. I'm in the middle. The ones above me, and the other ones below me. And I'm so happy. They're all my brothers and sisters. Thank you. Grandparents, Katherine and Christian. What a lovely memory.
Thank you, Aunt Olga. I'd now like to call Charlie Gessner to propose a toast to the Wagner descendants.
But I think I still will. I'm going to tell the real story about Aunt Olga. Anyway, it's great to be here. And I'm going to start things off with Aunt Carrie because, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, Aunt Carrie, you were the very first one. Born January the 18th, 1913. Born at home. Went to school at Ferry Hill at Cornwall School and later in Fransfield School. I don't exactly know what that means, but that's what my mother told me. Worked in Regina for rich people. I suppose that could be doctors, lawyers, or whatever. I don't know if that was... I I'm not sure if that was to subsidize the income at home or whether that was just for Aunt Carrie. Married Uncle Gus about 1931, and then kind of came Irene. What a handful. 5 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren. And Aunt Carrie is pretty special to me. She's my godmother. She taught me how to play whist. And that's why we were such good whist players. But I can tell you something else about Aunt Carrie. I can remember when I was just a little kid, we used to go over to Uncle Gus and Aunt Carrie's, and she always had these roosters. And every time you walked in the yard, they just chased. I mean, I was scared pitless of these. There's another word for it, but I'll say that. These stupid roosters. And I said to Aunt Carrie, well, I said, you know, can't you get rid of these things? I mean, you know, do we have to put up with this every time? She says, yeah. Next time you come, they won't be here. The next time we came, they were still there. And every time we came, they were always still there. But Aunt Carrie, you're probably one of the best aunts that I've ever had. So we hope that you keep on being the best aunt that I ever had for a long time yet. Now we'll move on to Aunt Frida. See, Aunt Frida is the best mom I've ever had. But to most of you, it's Aunt Frida. I'm going to tell some secrets here. She was born November the 7th, 1914, born at home like I think all the Wagners were. They never were hospitalized. And yet they're one of the best supporters of hospitalization. I just don't understand. She went to school at Berry Hill and Francis Field, and I think she ended up her school days at Field School. She worked at Curry's for a while before she married Dad. She married October the 13th, 1933 to Dad. She had 3 children. The first girl died at birth, and then she raised 2 fine sons, Charlie and Jim. 6 grandchildren, and I know them all in this particular case, but I won't know them all as I move down the line, so you're going to have to help me a little bit. Shane, Clayton, Connie, Gregory, Stan, and Jackie. I think they're all here tonight except Clayton, right? And Shane. Shane, I think, is going to be here tomorrow, I think Jim said. Right. Great-grandchildren, they're all here tonight. Jennifer, Lorraine, and Ashley. I think in the upbringing of Mom had a little bit of the devil in her, from what I understand. She used to play with Uncle John all the time. They used to catch gophers, get crows, and rob birds' nests, and trap muskrats, and snare rabbits, and things of this nature. And Uncle John probably kept all the money, but that's... And as she grew up and got married, she did a lot of curling, and she raised some special prize turkeys, likes gardening, rolled a car once. Let me tell you about the turkeys she raised. Turkeys were just fantastic. And one day she got some ribbons and stuff like this, and she was being awarded these ribbons. She was asked, well, what do you feed these turkeys? Of course, she was expected to say the turkeys feed them. Well, she said milk and chocolate, you know, whatever else they have. This wasn't the answer that the feed company was looking for. But anyway, the turkeys were always great. Mother raised us real good, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and we thank you, Mother. Then came Uncle John. This is who I really like to talk about. He was born, not hatched, October 11th, 1916. Thought he was a confirmed bachelor until Molly got a hold of him. I can't remember the year, but Molly, what year was it? 1962. Funny thing is, I happened to be at grandfather's and grandmother's when Uncle John was courting his Aunt Polly. God, he was running around, he was skinny, and he was working all day, and he had ulcers. And grandfather says to me, I just don't understand with that guy, what's going on. He works all day, he runs around all night, he's getting skinnier all the time, he's sick. How does he expect to keep going on? But he survived. Obviously. I can remember one time when I was just a little boy, there was a penny on the ground. I didn't bother picking it up because it was just a penny. Uncle John happened to be there and he picked up the penny. He says, well, you know, son, this was some good advice, eh? I might take a little bit of liberty here, Uncle John, but the essentials are the same. He says, you know, son, he says, you look after the pennies. And that's after he put the penny in his pocket. He says, the dollars will look after themselves. And he has pretty well kept this philosophy through the years. And he still has the penny. We happened to be at his place on New Year's, Molly's and Uncle John's place, and he showed us some antiques and stuff that he's very proud of, that we looked at, and you know, it's really nice that somebody can do something with some, what we think is old stuff, and he does something really good with it. I know there was a couple items that people were ready to throw out. He kept them as antiques, and I'm sure they're valuable now. They certainly are nice looking at, and I know he's real proud of it. I don't always agree with Uncle John's philosophy in some areas. There's really nothing personal, Uncle John. We can still disagree, and that means we can still like each other. It's just that you're wrong and I'm right. Uncle John farmed all his life, bought and sold, bought cheap, sold expensive, and did very well all of it. With all his capitalist methods, he still calls himself a socialist. In spite of all this, Uncle John, you're a great uncle. And Matilda, born November the 8th, 1918. That must be when they ended the war. Attended court. Right on. Farmed all their lives, and they're now retired in Strasbourg. I don't know if they're fully retired. And they have one son, Bob, came in 19, and I have another question mark because I'm really not too sure. 1942. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. One grandchild. And I'm going by information that was given to me, but I understand as a child, Aunt Matilda preferred to be in the house rather than with the cows. And I understand that she was afraid. Is that right, Aunt Matilda? Didn't like cows? You'd rather be in the house? Oh, okay. That's how I was informed. Yeah, okay. Aunt Matilda has talent for art. We noticed at Bob and Donna's Christmas party that there were some beautiful paintings by Aunt Matilda. I looked there and, you know, I looked there to see who painted these pictures, and it was Aunt Matilda. And I was amazed because they were really nice paintings. You do good work, Aunt Matilda. Maybe you missed your calling. Aunt Matilda's also godmother to my brother Jim. And she has always had good hospitality, friendship, and kindness. Thank you, Aunt Matilda. Uncle Martin? Oh, there's another good one. Born July the 25th, 1920, went to field school, joined the Army, farmed, was a grain buyer, handyman, semi-retired in Strasbourg, master of all trades and an expert in every one of them, especially in playing cards. And do we get whipped? Married Anna Marie Statler, and I can't remember the year. I know there was a bit of controversy at that time because Anna Marie was a little too old and she couldn't make cabbage rolls. So we had that all sorted. 4 children. Carol is the oldest one, responsible for this reunion, I'm sure. Debbie and Lana and Wesley, it might be noted that Wesley is the only descendant that will carry on the Wagner name. So far he's done okay, as they have a son, Lyndon, who will carry on the name for another generation. Although, Wesley, I think you did pretty good. We should have another one, though, for insurance.
He's behind bars.
9 grandchildren. We all heard this afternoon how Uncle Martin got his fingers into candy when it was real hot, eh? I think he probably still gets his fingers burnt once in a while. Anyway, Uncle Martin, you're just a great uncle. Thank you. Yeah. Now Aunt Olga. Boy, I've been waiting for this. At Beulah School, did various types of work. One thing she did do during the war, she built airplanes for the war effort. Thank God she didn't fly any. She worked for various people, including Mom and Dad. Married Martin Retzer, I don't exactly remember the year, maybe you can help me out there. 1945. 3 children, Delasa, and I'll still never get over that name, Dilly. Barbara and Roger. 7 grandchildren, is that right? I was told I had some information here, but Aunt Olga was one of the girls that, with their older sisters at home, they used to cut up their dresses, or their belts from their dresses to make little dolls. So when the older girls put their dresses on, of course, they never had any belts. And I can also remember when Aunt Olga used to work for us, Jim and I would get a little bit out of line. We would always get a little bit of a licking with the peach board. Now, most of you don't know what a peach board is, but you see, peaches used to come in wooden boxes, eh? And she just grabbed a hunk of board off the wooden box, and that was it. And we'd get her. Aunt Olga is always positive, outgoing, cheerful. And I know, like Lois Knudsen Mulholland would say, well, half a glass of water. And Aunt Olga would always look at that as being half full, not half empty. Aunt Catherine, born September the 24th, 1930, number of feet in 1943. Uncle Bob and Aunt Catherine farmed all their lives and are now retired in Strasbourg. Blessed with 3 children, Janet, Marvin, and Keith, 9 grandchildren. I think Aunt Catherine was maybe a little bit special when she came along because she is named after her mother, Catherine. She told me last night that she now gets her pension. And I said, oh, Aunt Catherine, you're kidding me. You can't possibly get the old age pension. Must be some other kind of pension. So she informed me she is over 65. Yeah. Aunt Catherine has always been a real nice aunt. Maybe a little shyer than some of the others, but she's always been very kind and very nice and very friendly as long as I've known her. And I hope you stay that way, Aunt Catherine. Thank you. Aunt Molly, born February 11th, 1925, attended Beulah School, worked in Regina at various jobs. Married Bob Whittle in 1948. They farmed for a number of years, was employed in Regina, and now resides in Strasbourg. I guess they didn't like Regina. 2 sons, Dwight and Calvin, 3 grandchildren. And I guess Aunt Molly is known as the type that, for what I understand, did stand in the mirror and tried, you know, to kind of stay away from the work as much as possible. Is that right, Aunt Molly? I can't imagine. Is that right? But you know what, I'm going to tell you a little secret, Aunt Molly, and you never heard this before because I never said it before. But one time we were out at grandfather's and grandmother's, and there's a whole bunch of kids playing, and I always had a habit of kind of sneaking away from the group and just to see what was kind of going on. So I went up the stairs, and there's a door on the left-hand side. I opened up the door, and Aunt Molly, you were taking a sponge bath right in that little tub. You know, when you're taking a sponge bath, you don't have a thing on. I was surprised, and you were even more surprised. But you told me in so many words, because I was just to more or less like, get out of here. Because I'm getting ready for Uncle Bob, sort of thing. Anyway, Aunt Molly, here again. You're just one of the greatest aunts that I know. And even if you didn't carry your workload at home, I'm sure you look beautiful all the time. Clayton Wagner was born March the 19th, 1927. He passed away 1 year and 4 months later in an untimely accident. His name still carries on, as my second name is Clayton, and my oldest son's name is Clayton. So I'm sure wherever Clayton is now, he will know that his name is being carried on, and he's probably as good or better off than what we are today. Lawrence Wagner, born December the 26th, 1929, educated at Beulah, Strasbourg, and specialized education in Regina. Worked for General Motors all his life. Geez, isn't that interesting? Pretty general, I would say. 3 children, Lana and Cheryl.
My mom, my dad.
Laura, I'm sorry. And Cheryl?
That's 2.
I'm sorry, 2 children. So I got mixed up. I had a very good time this afternoon, you know. 5 grandchildren. You know, I never ever did see Lawrence as Uncle Lawrence. Because Lawrence is about the same age as I am. Well, a little bit older, but he wasn't as old as the rest of them. So to me, he never did seem like an uncle. But nevertheless, he is my uncle, so I always had to force myself to call Lawrence Uncle Lawrence. I got some information here from some information that I got on the Wagner family. I won't say exactly who it is, but it says here, Brother Lawrence, when he was small, he liked this bottle of nipple. Had to chew up the nipple, so Dad got him a heavy black one. He got teased so much, he'd go behind the door and drink it. He also liked to sleep in the middle of Dad's mother's bed. No wonder they only had one more, and that was Ann, because Lawrence was always in the way. Lawrence, I would like to say, we spent a little time with you in Edmonton when Shane was sick, and the hospitality that you showed us, and the friendship, and the good time was just great. And you've always done that. So, Uncle Lawrence, you're definitely one of my favorite uncles. Annie Murtak. Born August 7, 1932, education, Beulah, Strasbourg. Worked in the egg canning station, I found out just a little while ago. Married in, I can't remember when, for sure, 1952. And I'm not sure of all the children, because I know there's Chris, Miles, Byron, Kathy, and Sandra. Green. Okay, so we got that straight. Here again. I had a little trouble calling Annie Aunt Annie. Because Aunt Annie really isn't much older than I am. And, you know, we have a lot of trouble calling aunts and uncles that aren't much older than you are. I do remember one thing, though, about Annie, and that was when she was about to get married. She came down to our place, I recall. She met this guy that, you know, he wasn't from Strasbourg. I mean, if you were 10 miles outside of Strasbourg, you were from Strasbourg. But Morris, he was far away. I mean, we couldn't even imagine where he came from. He was was a little older than Ann, but I'm sure that wasn't a factor. Or maybe it was, I'm not sure. But Morris told me today that when he went into the Wagner yard, he didn't get any further than the front gate. There was a couple of reasons. One, there was a great big mud puddle there. And the other reason, the side of his car said, what did it say, Morris? Seismic tag. And grandfather thought it was Singer sewing machine, and there was no damn way this guy was going to get past that mud puddle. Anyway, Annie, here again. You're just a wonderful man. And we're glad you made it all the way from BC out to here. Thank you, Annie. I'm sure as a family, the Wagners have had some differences, but this certainly pales compared to all the agreements that you have. You know, in this family of 10, there have been no separations or divorces that I'm aware of. They all remember each other's birthdays, anniversaries, and get together informally when they occur. They obviously look after each other and love each other a lot. On behalf of all your nieces and nephews, we love you all very much. May you all have a long, happy, and healthy lives, and may God really bless you, each and every one of you. A toast. Could you please rise for a toast to the Wagner family? Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to give a toast to my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and my parents. I got a little poem here by Denny Card. A grandmother is a lady who has no children of her own, so she likes other people's children. A grandfather is a man grandmother. He goes for walks with boys and they talk about fishing and tractors and things like that. Grandmothers don't have to do anything but be there. They are so old, so they shouldn't play or run hard. It is enough if they drive us to the market where the pretend horse is and have lots of quarters ready. Or if they take us for walks, they should slow down past things like pretty leaves or caterpillars. They should never say hurry up. Usually they are fat, but not too fat to tie kids' shoes. They wear glasses and funny underwear. They can take their teeth and gums off. They don't have to be smart. Only answer questions like why dogs hate cats and how come God isn't married. They don't talk baby talk like visitors do because it's too hard to understand. When they read to us, they don't skip or mind it if it is the same story again. Everybody should try to have one, especially if you don't have televisions, because grandparents are the only grown-ups who buy time. Okay, could you please stand up and give a toast to the parents and grandparents and great-grandparents?
What I'd like us all to do is to take our chairs, move them over to the other side of the hall, where we will continue the entertainment, and while we're over there, the ladies will be busy clearing off the tables, and when we're done our entertainment, we'll move back over here. So if everybody would take their chair and move over to the hall to know this story. Grandfather had hung a bell outside the door, and he explained to Catherine, there's renegades around here, Catherine. If I'm out and there's an emergency, ring this bell and I'll hurry back. Some days later, Chris was out to the fields when he heard the bell. He headed home at full gallop. What's wrong, Catherine? Catherine replied, I just thought you might like a cup of coffee. Of course, we all know that Grandfather had a little bit of a temper, and Grandfather fumed. I told you, Catherine, that that bell is just for emergency. Now half the day is gone, and I still have chores to do. Once more, Chris rode out And just as he got out to the field and picked up his axe, he heard the bell again. Again he raced back to the house or the cabin. When he got to the house, he asked what was wrong. Catherine replied, "The wash tub's leaking." Grandfather said, "Tarnation, woman, that ain't no emergency." 2 hours later, Christian was out chopping wood when he heard the bell again. He charged home and found the house in flames, the barn a smoking ruin, and the cattle stampeding. Then he found Catherine slumped over the bell with an arrow through her shoulder. "Now, Catherine, this is more like it." Now I'd like to call on the great mother of the 2 great sons, Aunt Frida Gessner, to come forward to read a poem, please. Aunt Frida?
Well, this is a little poem about my mother. When me prayers were early said, who tucked me in my little bed, he spanked my little ass till it was red, me mother. Who lifted me from my cozy cot and set me on the ice cold pot and made me wee-wee if I could or not, me mother. And when morning light had come and in my bed it dribbled some, who whipped my tiny little bum, me mother. Who my hair so neatly part and pressed me gently to her heart and sometimes squeezed me till I fart, me mother.
I believe the next person is ready, and on the list here I've just got her shown as a distant relative. She wasn't invited, but she's shown.
And I didn't get invited, them dumb waiters. I couldn't believe it when I got to my grad sale today. I was going to have a nice, peaceful grad sale. All these shoving people come barging in. Well, first one I saw, when I got looking over there, I found this cute little shirt I wanted to buy. Size 3. Picked it up and figured pretty soon it would fit over these curves. All of a sudden, this squeaky little voice comes, "Oh, Matilda, look it, I found a sweater size 3. There's that ball you will. Whipped it right out of my hand. I thought, size 3 or not, lady, I will fit it too soon. Then, as I was walking along, I found this cute little stool. Stepped up on it. All of a sudden, this short little lady, supposedly an Aunt Frida, comes up, whips it off, pops on it. Look, I can see it! She took it home. Then as I was browsing around, I found some beautiful lawn ornaments. Standing there and admiring it, all of a sudden, this Matilda comes running by. "Oh, a lawn ornament! I don't have that one!" If I get that one, it finishes my set, my yard, please. Then I ran across this beautiful jewelry and makeup, and I found some really pretty pink lipstick, and I was standing there, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, Olga bumped me from behind, and up my nose. I turned around and said, "Up your nose, Olga." She says, "Oh, Annie, wouldn't you love some beads for those daughters of yours?" Annie had already bought the other pailful. And then, when Annie's standing there, she says, I'm looking around, I thought maybe I could do a little hula dance if I met some of these Wagners. There's old Annie, standing up there just a-hustling with this thing. I thought I'd look just as good in a grass skirt as yours, so I bought it. Then, I thought I found the prize of the grad sale. A thunder jug. An antique thunder jug. All of a sudden, Aunt Carlin says, "Oh, Johnny, look, an antique hat." She's walking around the grad sale with a hat on her head. Can't be wasted. And the guy that amazed me the most was this Martin character. There wasn't a thing at that grad sale. No, sir, he hopped in his Dodge truck, drove to the nuisance ground, and he's still sitting there looking for himself. Boy, I tell you, next time there's a Wagner Reunion in town, and I'm not invited, I'm gonna find my own garage sale to go to.
I think this next little story goes along with the story that Charlie told about Uncle Lawrence sleeping in between Grandpa and Grandma Wagner. As you all know, Grandfather and Grandmother Wagner had 11 children. And of course, the children had all left home, and it was more or less a ritual around Christmas time. They all came back home. It was at one of these times that the family was all gathered together, and we got to talking about honeymoons. My mother, Matilda, stated that she'd gone to Winnipeg for her honeymoon. Uncle John stated that he'd gone to Fort Capel, and Aunt Carrie said that she'd gone to Regina. Aunt Frida, being the inquisitive one, looked at Grandma and she said, "Mother, where did you spend your honeymoon?" Grandmother didn't hesitate. She said, "With 11 children. Where else? Upstairs." I'd now like to call on Kim Larson. She's going to play a piano piece, and it's entitled "Called the Rose." Kim? Wagner half notes, please come forward and do their number. Now I'd like to call on the 3 W's. They're Uncle Martin, Uncle John, and Uncle Lawrence to come forward, please. entertainment. There's many people here that deserve a lot of thanks, and I can't name them all. I know that Uncle Martin went out to the farm and cut all the grass, and Aunt Anna Marie and a bunch of other ladies and aunts and cousins and whoever got together and made all our sandwiches. And I don't know who all did their part in arranging this, but there's one special person that took charge of this whole event. And she deserves a hearty hand of appreciation for arranging this event, managing our affairs, and making this a success. And I would like you to all rise and join me in thanking our niece, our cousin, our daughter, no other than Carol Schultz. Carol, in appreciation, I'd like you to come forward as we have a little gift for you, and then it'll be up to you to make a little speech.
Thank you very much, cousins, aunts, and uncles, great cousins, and my sister's brothers, my mom's and dad's, and my husband. I knew that we needed this because there's so many of us that haven't seen each other since we were kids. I was going to say little, but you'd all laugh. Especially Charlie. And I wanted my kids, my family, and my husband to meet my cousins, and I wanted to meet their spouses because I feel we're a very special family, and it's not often, or who knows if we'll ever do it again. But this has really been great as far as I'm concerned, and it's all worth it. Thanks for coming.
Before we move our chairs back and enjoy the rest of the evening, there's one or two announcements yet. Tomorrow morning there's a church service at 10:30 at the community rink, which will be held by our own Pastor Gordon Busick. This is followed by a pancake breakfast or brunch, and then we will be going out to the lake. I think the band is here, and dancing will take place in a few minutes, and it'll run from 9 till 1 with a midnight lunch of cabbage rolls and who knows what else at midnight. So move your chairs back and enjoy the evening.
Here we are in the back of the rumble seat. Hey? 1930 Model A. I guess that's the year I was born.
I don't think so. You're a little later.
I don't know why the parents had this to the kids fight in the back. Downtown, beautiful town of Strasbourg. Beautiful weekend. Hope this old bucket of bolts makes it there. Motor sounds like running out of gas again. Now we're going for a pancake breakfast.
Here's Dad and Mother's house up here.
Which one? Which one? The brown one? The brown one here?
The old Wagner house.
Nice looking house, eh? Nice yard.
John's house next to it. John's house.
We got nice yards here, eh?
Here's the house Mom and I lived in when we first got married.
This one here? The white one? Beautiful prairies. Blow the horn. Oh, we're here.
For sound effects.
Here comes B&L. Maybe they locked the doors.
Wasn't really sure what to expect. I think that what we'd like to do is sing a hymn or two and just begin to put ourselves in a frame of heart to worship the Lord, to appreciate His goodness, because we believe that He grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord hath promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. Let's bow together in opening prayer. Father, we are grateful for that which we have sung and the reality it has to bear upon our own lives. We thank you for your grace that is expressed to all. And we thank you for the peace that can be experienced as we open up to allow this grace to flow through our lives, through our attitudes, through our motives, through our affections, through our will, and as we yield ourselves in service to you. We thank you especially for the significance of this gathering this morning, for the Wagner family, and for all of those who are associated either through marriage or second, third generations. We praise you this morning because of your goodness to us, and pray that in this time together we will get a fresh sense of who you are and a fresh understanding of what you wish to do in our lives. We pray your blessing upon this hour, all that is done, all that is said and sung, and pray that our hearts will be drawn near to you in the sense of our love and our commitment. Thank you, Father, for bringing us together. Be with us, we pray, in Christ's name. Amen. Song. Well, this is a privilege, and I think what we'll do is we'll just have a short time of meditation, and then we'll conclude our service with a hymn and with a prayer. I'm sure that you will agree with me that this reunion has proven to be the right thing to do. It's been great to get together and renew old acquaintances, and to meet some of the new folk who have come into the family, either by birth or by marriage. And I'm glad it was held in Strasbourg, rather than in some large urban area. Coming from the high population density area of southern Ontario, I find it refreshing to be in the open spaces of a smaller community where people know one another. You know, when I come to Strasbourg and I happen to go downtown in one of Dad's vehicles, his trucker's car, I feel somewhat of a sense of duty to wave at everyone. I don't necessarily know who it is. I don't want him to come across as being a snob, even though they're maybe not sure who's in there. And I'm convinced that in these small towns, you wave at the vehicle. You know, you're driving that boxcar. And you look for some kind of hand motion in return. And probably that's all you get, is just a sort of a silhouette through some of these tinted windshields. and you're really not sure who's driving. But in my own community of Stony Creek, which is about 45 minutes from Toronto, I'm a stranger 2 doors down the street. And sometimes you feel alienated. You feel this lack of community. And this is something that doesn't take long to pick up when you come back home. And I think within just a few hours, we felt it within the Wagner family. And it was just a very refreshing time, at least for me personally, I'm sure for many of you. I think it's remarkable that out of the 11 children of the Wagner family, that 10 are here at this reunion, and that we're all here together. I call them the Sparky, Tease, and Twinkle Wagners. There's a little gleam in the eye, and I think that that's a very healthy trait. I find family reunions in general very fascinating, not only for the reasons of getting together and traveling down these memory lanes, but I think it's an interesting feature even to notice the biological flow that goes through these generations as a series of other families are drawn in due to marriage. And as you go through, you know, it's kind of an interesting thing. You follow these Wagner genes, you know, that go down, and I'm not a direct recipient of the Wagner genes because I've come in by way of marriage. But my boys are through Jeanette. Though you have to realize she's not pure Wagner because she has a little Fuller mix in there. And so you sort of trace these family trees and the biological connections from generation to generation. It gets pretty complex and pretty diverse, and yet fascinating. And I wonder if this isn't one of the ways that God, in His infinite wisdom, has created the individuality and the diversity in the human race that we see and that we enjoy so often in one another. But I think we do tend to think of family traits passing down to the children and down to their children and so on. Even here, I have heard little comments like, isn't she a Wagner? Huh? Yeah? Jeanette said that of Delawson. My apologies to you, Martin, but she's a Wagner. You're a Retzer, but she's part Retzer too. And so I'm sure that you interchange these things, and I occasionally say this of my wife, and I say that's the Wagner in you. Seeing the funny side of this thing, and the tease and the twinkle, and on it goes. And so I think that that's a healthy thing too, especially if we pass down these positive virtues onto our children and find the best that we can to pass on to our own children. So we certainly are a unique lot, and it has been just so great to renew these acquaintances and to meet the new folks that have come in. You know, when there's so many new people to meet, and if you'll allow me to just tell one more story, but I find this in every gathering where you're exposed to new people, new folk, that you're not sure. You let first impressions often color your impression of that person from that point on. And sometimes it's accurate, and sometimes it's not. And I think it's a good idea in a sense to keep open to allow ourselves to eventually think that the best is really in that other person, and to find that really as we get to know people, that we're going to find that there's something very worthwhile knowing about these individuals. By nature, it's not always this way. And I often tell a story of, and it's a true story that happened in the state of Wyoming, where this farmer was going down into Jackson. If you've ever traveled into Jackson, Wyoming, you'll know that there's a lot of curves in the mountains that get into that valley. It's a beautiful state. Anyhow, this farmer had evidently been driving down this road, and he was approaching a sharp bend to the left, when all of a sudden this little white car, it was a hot summer day, the windows were turned down, and this little white car comes tearing around that corner, just screeching around in his lane. And she swerves just in time. The driver of this car just swerves in time to pass his window, get in her proper lane to prevent the collision. And as she passes by, she screams at him. She says, "Pig!" as loud as she could. And he thought, the nerve of this woman. I mean, she was in my lane. She's the one who threatened my life. And so in retaliation, he blurted out in reflexive, instant reaction, he said, "Cow!" Swerved around the corner, and no sooner had he done that, he ran into the biggest pig he ever saw.
cooks doing this morning?
Smile.
They sound like little airplanes, eh?
That's really cute.
Oh, here we are at, what park is this? Strasbourg Park? Laying back and sucking back the cool ones.
When you go into the smokehouse, you'll come out tan. I'll tell you when you
What's this? A Saskatchewan barbecue?
Yeah.
We're going to barbecue lots. We were so good we even called the Indians how to do it. We have to do it together. Wait.
What are they doing?
What's holding it there? What's got to go up high, right? Yeah. How's this? Now it hits. Oh, you both got to go up together. Yeah. Oh, you made it so high.
You got it figured out?
Try it again. Wait. Oh, that's all right. Now we got to get pushing in. We got to get the back up.
What's going on in here?
Hey.
There's the Incredible Hulk.
Do that.
What's going on in here? This is a little private party
Well,
going
just
on
another
here.
beer. Get my beer. I'll show you what I'm going to do right here. See here?
Come on, Uncle John.
Here,
You
stone
come
the
and
hatch.
sit on my knee.
See, now
Yeah,
I'm talking.
no, you see. Uncle John said I was his favorite niece now.
I never felt so
Now I
relaxed in
see
my
why.
life. He even feels warm.
What's that? No shooting allowed?
Last night we went through all that.
What's wrong with today?
We didn't. I'm tired.
Yeah, she must be allergic to something.
Oh, you gotta wind the weekend down, eh?
Is that moving? Fantastic.
Movement.
What's that?
I'll give you a little bit to make a little movement.
It's a bit windy today, but it's pretty nice. It's been a great weekend. Connie, what are you doing?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Connie, did you have a good weekend? Yes.
One out.
You had a good weekend, didn't you? Yes. Can you smile?
I'll get you out.
Smile? Yeah.